Hello, Sean Schmidt from Sean Schmidt Design. I am going to do a quick basics tutorial on the clone stamp. A question came up on it on a Photoshop Facebook page, and I just making a quick video, really explain it better than I can through typing. And it might help other folks out there explore this tool as well. So we have this image of downtown Vancouver during a car show that was going on. First thing we want to do always is work non-destructively, so we want to create a duplicate of this image. And to do that, we have our layers panel, and our background image is highlighted. Let's hit Control J or Command J if you're on a Mac, and that creates a duplicate. Layer 1, and it's unlocked. Right, let's create another layer on top of that one. We'll create this one as an empty layer. And we will choose our clone stamp tool, which is the keyboard shortcut S. And it can also be found over here on the tool palette with the stamp icon. Taking a look at this image, let's try to remove this light pole here. To do that, zoom in. We can see up here on our toolbar that we have our clone stamp open. Normal mode, 100% opacity, 22% flow. We can adjust that a little bit. Let's bring it up to about 50%. Aligned, and this is important, we're sampling from all layers. We have the blank layer that's sitting above the layer 1. So we could use current layer and below, or all layers. And either one of these options, current layer and below or all layers, will work for our purposes. We'll go ahead and leave it on all layers. And that will select pixels from the whole stack of images. In our brush tool, we want it to be at 0 hardness. And the size is relative to what we're working on. We'll adjust that as we go along. And to use the clone stamp, it's pretty easy. You hold the Alt or Option key and click what you want to select from. And then when you release the buttons, you have that loaded into your stamp tool. You have a couple choices on how to implement that. You'll see that the selection's inside of our cursor here. We can click with our mouse, and that selects from the spot we sampled from, equal distance from our cursor tool that's painting the stamp on. Or we can use a stylus and a tablet to paint in the area. And again, it'll sample from the same distance as you sampled from. Now if you cross, it's going to sample from the invisible area, so we get this part that's showing up, which is the equivalent to this crossbar here. That's easy to remedy. You just resample, Alt or Option, hold, click to sample, and then we can go back to painting. And this pretty effectively removes the object from our image. Alright, so now we are coming up on a bit of a tricky part here. So if we put our cursor over the edge of the building, we hold Alt down and click with our left mouse, we load the selection of this vertical line of this building, and you can just move that over. It's loaded into the cursor so you can see where it's lining up, and then just use your mouse to click that in, and voila. Line it up. With this technique, you can pretty well remove any object from your image. A little patience. This is down here. It's going to be a little bit more complicated. It's going to take a little bit more patience and finesse to really get in there, and you have to have a little bit of an imagination, I think, to try and figure out what it would look like without that pole there. Very powerful tool. You can, of course, get as finicky as you want with this technique. The more time you spend with it, perhaps the better. Sometimes a quick pass is all that's necessary, and spending too much time with something can end up doing more damage than good, but that's up to you. Decide for your process. Control 0 to zoom out, and in just a couple minutes we have effectively removed that light pole from our image. Now we created the layer 2 to work on, and it's another layer of redundancy of non-destructive editing. So we can turn the eyeball on and off to see our before and after. Okay, that's the basics of working with the clone stamp tool. I hope you found this video useful and helpful. If you did, please remember to subscribe and hit the like button. Until the next video, Sean Schmidt out.